Why, hello there. Oops, not that. Make sure everything happy. And it's looking pretty good. If and you ask me. Looks alright. Okay. Alright. Figure out where the heck I was. I didn't work on this over my weekend. I did other things. Worked on other stuff. But, also, need a little of that. But not quite that much. Alright, so. I think it was like right after stream, on Monday, have a realization. So we were doing this stuff for updating rooms. That's our next task, right? And we have this test that has shown us that my assumption that putting these copies of these things into these lists is not going to work. And we don't have access to, like, pointer stuff in Dart. So, let me fix that real quick. There we go. We were going to fix that, but I was thinking like wrapping this in something. And then I realized we don't need to do that. We have a map. We know the coordinates when we put it in here. We can store connection data mapped to a UUID coordinates instead of copies. So, should be good, right? Hopefully. And I'm trying to remember everything that was going through my head in the moment, but it's been, days of working on other stuff. So, this is my controller test. Oh, I collapsed the wrong thing. That's what's going on. Okay. And then, yeah, these guys, we just need to do them still. This is a helper. That collapse isn't correct. Okay. So, we didn't change any connections, but this be not correct. Oh yeah, I updated Flutter too. Crap, I should have run this after. Whoops. Okay. So, failure. It didn't get the update. Cool. So, we need to go into our map controller itself here. And what did I change here? Oh, I made them not nullable. I gave them default values instead. So the room table, it's going to map to a coordinate. And the same thing here. Like so. Okay? Yeah. This is our clear and recreate for when we reload. Okay. Oh yeah, it's a connection object. Connection objects don't have a location. They are not real. But we might not need to worry about that. We might be able to get this done as we go through here. The UUID. Ooh, except for we're going through this way. So this is going to take a little bit more tweaking than I was hoping, but that's okay. That we'll have to fix. That's okay. Yeah. That's all right. We'll fix this other bit up first. Okay, so coordinates are not real. This is tile data, not room data. Location. Easy peasy. Offset location is here. Ooh. How do I want to do this? Because we do need to look up these guys. We have this offset here, and I'm thinking that this should also be correct. Where did we used to place you? Into... our map. Connection location. Offset location. Okay, so we figure out... Let's still do this. Except for it's not going to be... a global... Or a class variable, rather. It's just going to be... Connection data. I think this will work. Alright, I need to drop the map for that. Except we don't want to call you connection table. I guess we can just call you temp connection table. That's fine. And we store just connection. We might get rid of this later and just go through our list, but this seems probably faster and easier and saner. Probably. Could be wrong. But there's going to be a decent chunk of these guys. Okay, so. We do this, and then We never used to add them again. But where do we put right here? That's our target tile. Where do we put them into? Do they not actually get locations? Am I crazy? We haven't changed connections yet. That is on the to-do list. And I'm actually now questioning my recollection here. Map editor, when we do our map, we might switch this back just for a temporaries. That's our state. Map pane. That's right. That's who you are. Layout builder. There's a menu in here. We go through the map, table view, right. Yeah, they get put into here. Okay. So I'm not completely crazy. Where do I actually write you? Okay, yeah, the connection location. And we do all of our stuff. We put you in. Okay, yeah. Yes, I remember this now. Okay, good. So, when we actually put you in, as long as there's no errors and horribleness, let's only do you when we actually put you... I don't think I actually put you into... You'd have to be. We do check you, right? In our controller test here. When we load our tiles. Yes, we do. Okay. I'm just brain farting on target tile. Is it at the end? No. We loop through the room date. Ah, right here. No, we're still in rooms. Am I insane? We have our target tile. Oh. No, because where do we put... We're switching here. Connections, origin, vector 2. Connection location. Where did we build this? Where do we actually populate it with these empty tiles? Comment there. Connection IDs. This is a room data. Oh, you know what? We do it in... Size X, size Y. Room data from JSON. This... Room data. Connections. Here we go. And then... Map data. No. I'm losing my mind. Where do these actually get put into the map? They do. Because we go through, and we know you're that. Target tile. We've got our map data. We need, here we are. That's right. Here's where we can do it. When we initialize... Oh no, we can't do it here because we just put the tile models in. Okay. And then we go fill in, yeah, we populate them with the correct widget, the correct model, and then we go in and fill them in. Okay. So I'm not completely insane. I remember doing that now. Okay. So yeah, that's still fine. And then when we do our target tile business down here. And we do this over and over again because we need to get our offset location and figure out where we put this data. So we get our offset location for the tile plus north. So right here, after we put in the data, we need to say connection table at connection ID equals I need to make a coordinate. And I would need to do that in all of them, unless we can clean this up a little bit. And because of this being in a switch statement like this, I bet oh no, because this is actually the tile. I could do this though. I could do that. And then no, because we error check in here too. Unfortunately, I think it just has to go into all of them for now. Because we only want to put them in there if we actually loaded connection data. Which is why there's so much repetition in here. And we can't really extract a lot of this because we need to also write into specific spots in there. And I guess we could maybe think about re-architecting that a little bit, but I'm just going to go with it for now. Okay. Now, we need to come down here. This is the map at the X and the Y. And that returns associated as connection data. And you can't be null. Neither can you. And the same thing. Except for this, I need to say oh, actually, this gets easier. I just say map, which can't be null, at Actually, hang on. Let's do this. It'll be easier to read. Wait. This already knows where it is. I just need to do that. Okay. Why didn't that work? Give you a room data. Not you. You. So we load, we get a target tile. We make our update. We could probably error check that just to be sure. We already have a test for that. Update tile, updated data. Okay. So why this? Take a look. Okay. Test controller, our map at 0, 0. Updated description, updated verbose. That's correct. And our connection IDs we didn't mess with. UUID. Because target tile is still the old. That's why. Okay, you can stop. Thank you. That's because we grabbed a copy, basically. Let's instead do we need to do this. We need to actually, oops, type all the characters. There we go. Okay. We fixed both bugs. All right. Now the question becomes, do I even really need do I want to do that, or I might not even need this table. I'm just going to reach in there and grab by coordinates, like that makes a lot of sense to me. So I can just ditch that, which means I can ditch that and I can ditch that. And I can not worry about it. Anything break when I do that? Shouldn't. Okay, good. Let's just run the whole set to make sure I'm not overlooking anything else. Yeah. We can add that back if we need to later, but I don't think... Okay, I need to attribute test data. I need to fix my git ignore here as well. Oh, you know why? It's because it's in the parent. No, it's in here. Flutter Dart pub related. Do you really want the pub spec lock in there? Just by like default? And the DevTools options? Maybe they do. Let's leave it alone. We can always clean it up later. Okay. What are you? You're ignored. Doesn't matter what you are. Okay. Yeah, let's do... I just did that. I'm all discombobulated today. Map controller test. Where's this attribute test data? That's what I was looking for. Attribute test data. You were supposed to get cleaned up. I'm going to fix that in a second, I think. Hang on one sec. Let's get rid of that. Okay, DevTool options, whatever. Map controller, pub spec, and whatever. And the map controller test. Okay. We're going to say add tests for... add functions and tests for updating room data. Okay, now we need to go on a little bit of a side quest. Did this not clean up correctly? No, you're good. Did you not clean up correctly? Huh. I wonder if that was left over from something we did on Monday. Just be 100% sure and rerun completely. Must have been. Huh. Okay. Weird. We should make this... that way they don't get forgotten. Like, it would be best practices to get into that habit. There we go. Okay. So now we need to basically duplicate this whole test, except we can just paste that in. Everything else should be fine. But here, instead of this, from string, UID, was it this? I think it was that. Just to be sure. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a UID to me. Okay. Now, we expect this to have an error, and I do need to look up the syntax for that again. Bum 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 bum. Is this the one? I don't think so. Oh, maybe. So we're going to make sure that anything else in the room data. UID, location, description for both. Oh yeah. We're not doing anything with connection IDs yet. But I think we can just equality on them. We should probably double check that on that last test as well. We just want to make sure that no data gets modified as part of this to avoid regressions. Do 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 do. Like so. So here we expect. Where was the? That is not the correct syntax for this. I'm 98% sure. Where's the... It's this. We expect you throws, let's say, argument error. That ain't right either. I need to do I need to do this? I can do that. We'll go with that. So we're going to expect that and then that. This is going to fail because it does not currently throw an error. But it should. And in our map controller down here, what we're going to say is that we need to make sure we cast you because you're just objects in there. UUID is not equal. I'm going to update UUID. Throw an argument error. Provided room data ID of and to update UUID. What I should do here is say is this because because that's a question. It's nullable. Okay, so then we can say if or did it if current ID not is not, I can't do that? Okay. If it's not null and not equal to UUID. Not match existing ID. The current ID. And we also need to this test is actually going to be the same. We're just double checking ourselves. We will need another it's actually going to be more similar to this test. We need to test for a null current tile. Okay, we'll do that one here in a second. But this guy should now be passing. And he is. Perfect. Okay. I need to say we don't want this. This is going to be a new ID. This is going to be that. And here we're going to say we're going to null you. And we're going to say you're an empty list. This needs to be that. And that. And here we can also circle back. And say that should also be the same. Oh, I need a comment on equals. There we go. Okay. And this we can retroactively apply. So all the way up to here. Not quite that far down though. Okay. Place that. I don't think I can just... Can I roll back selected? No, I can't. And I can't... Okay, well, we just... kind of screwed ourselves. We're going to roll that back, roll this back, roll that back. Go back there. Fix my own oversight. There we go. All right. So, null current tile. Okay, so we found a bug there already. Okay, good. Love that. So, we're going to change this to be just that. We're going to do this. If you're null, actually rather, if you're not equal to null, I'm going to do the validation. If everything good, then this will still happen. If you are null, then we're just going to write it. That's what I think. Just like so. Okay. And that fixes all but our test that isn't actually implemented yet. Okay. I should be back here. Add handling for incorrect ID and null tile. Testing same. Whoop. Spaces in the right places will help. Okay, so that's going to get us that. Now, we're also going to say Let's do... Let's clean this up a little bit to be a little easier to read. By grabbing this like so, that can be a final, that's fine, it won't change. If you're not null, then we cast you like so. And then here we're also going to say if and I might need to add something to the coordinates to make them comparable. Might be a trub, but we are going to want to compare them, I think, if we haven't already. This provided room... Well, we can't really get the location incorrect. What am I thinking? We changed that because it's no longer just a hash table lookup. It is directly referencing. So the ID being incorrect will keep us safe there. All right, apparently my internet connection has been a little janky. Restream is telling me. Okay, that's cool. So, this test actually can just go away. Clean up date room syntax for readability. Move test that's no longer needed. Okay. What else do we need to do? We need to test for connection changes being made. This is going to get a little bit more hairy. We put you back in here, right? No, we didn't. Okay, crap. Because I think this is still going to be needed. Because yours is a list of objects. This is going to be the problem. We still need a way to update you. Hang on, let me back up with this before I get too crazy. We've got the map in memory here. Eventually it's going to need to be turned back into map data. For rooms, I think it's fine. We just iterate through and start plonking them into a list. Do I want to do that, though? Probably is the answer to that. So really the only thing we care about is being able to get a list of our connection data. We can go through, okay, yeah. We can go through the key values. No problems here. And because you don't really exist, I think this has to be. You are just a construct for the sake of our UI. Temp connection table replace with connection table. Oh yeah. But I can get rid of this. I don't use that anymore. I've already got you. Got ahead of myself. Got all kinds of confused. That's what happens when you step away for a couple days sometimes. But it had to be done. Okay. And then just like so. Okay. That should be fine. Okay, good. Everything happy. Okay, so we need to figure out the connection changes that we need to make. So there's like 3 cases here, right? So we're safe here. We know that we have the correct thing. We got a hold of him. It's all good. And we move on to updating. So there's case 1, remove a connection. We just need to move from map. Add a connection. Add to map. But we also need to and update tile. I think that's why I started thinking about tile locations, I think. I should say table here just to kind of So add to table and to map. Replace a connection. Well, I guess for replacing we can check if IDs match. If so, groovy. Place data, update map. Replace data in table, and then update map. So either way you slice it, we need to update the map. And it's possible that we could pull this out and reuse it, which would be nice. Connection IDs is not empty. Connection IDs. Basically, we need to feed it an ID. So once we add it to the connection table, then we can start here and run this. So let's do that. Let's extract it. And we'll call you update connection tiles. Or tile. Like so. And then we also need to know our offset location. We're just going to call it location in this case. Well, in the interest of not confusing future me more. Wait, where did I just put that? I put that in the wrong spot. It's in get connection. Too far. Let's collapse these. Oh my gosh. Third time's a charm. There we go. Let's call this actually parent offset location. Okay. So from here, ooh, we don't have our load warnings either. Oh, and I need to in one from that actually. Nope. I got my braces wrong. In one from you. There we go. All right. You go here. I could return. This list. I don't like that though. I think I want to just inject it. Oop. You go back to being a void, and I'll say load warnings comes in too. Okay. Let's do that. Oh, but we also used to take you out of there. Crap. I'm also going to rename this really quick back, just so that I can do this. Parent offset location. You can stay connection ID. I'm perfectly happy with that. Oh, actually, this can go up, back up. More or less. This part can. Or yeah. This will say and then we'll just continue. Otherwise, and what are you mad about here? Oh. We're just going to say, not there. This can't be null. We just checked you. Update connection tile. Connection ID. This is offset location. That's our load warnings. Like so. Okay. All of these should still pass. And they do. All of this should still pass. And it does. Okay. Oop. Extract action update function. Okay. Now, we do need to handle deleting from the map tile still, though. So that only solves half the problem. But if we pass you null, but we come out of the connection table. Well, if it's null, what if you're nullable? Well, no, then we can't do that. That becomes a big problem. Basically, I just need a delete or clean up connection tile function, I think. Because this guy isn't... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to delete him. So basically, it's going to look... Well, we don't have our parent offset look. Well, yeah, we do. It's the location of the room. So basically, we need almost a duplicate of this guy. I hate how Flutter's folding is broken. But he needs to be called remove connection tile. Still going to take those things. It won't have this. We'll ditch that. And basically, instead of doing this, it just becomes null. These guys all become null. It's kind of ugly, but I think it's kind of what I got to do. Okay. So that's a theory. We need to prove it. We're going to copy you. And instead of this, you're going to be connection deleted. The last thing I want to do in this function actually is after I remove that, I'm going to say remove that. So we're going to do that. This guy. How do I want to do this? Can I do in Dart? Can I do that? Is there a that syntax? Oh, there's a sublist. Okay. There's also a take. So I can take the first 3. Wrong syntax. Well, I'll do length -2. And then I expect that this guy I've already got it up here. He should equal this guy. But also I expect that connection table. Ew. I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a string. No. UID value. Last connection is equal to target tile connection IDs last. And this, I believe, yeah. So last connection, I expect you to be null. Okay, this should fail because we haven't done any removing. Fail in a way I did not expect. Okay. Oh, I see. To spread that out. Okay. Because we have to evaluate. It said it was lazy. We have to evaluate it to get it to actually be. Okay. Okay. So that passed, which is not right. Because we haven't done that yet. Created this. We haven't used it. This makes sense. This does not. That is the UUID. Okay. Let's figure out why. Why you do this? Okay, your UUID. Those are all still Gucci. Our list, however, is down to 3. Do I have to clone this list by chance? Be kind of annoying. Our connection table 0? What? We do load the map. You should be very full of connections. Why aren't you full of connections? Let's take a look before things get mangled here. Huh. What's going on there? Okay, so he's got 3. That is the last. He's still got 3. That's still the last. Okay, so we got a couple issues here. And I'm glad we caught them here before they became hard to track down, or harder, I should say. Oh, this should be length -1 for one thing, because it takes that number. It's not an index. It still doesn't answer some other questions, but that's okay. Let's go. Let's take a look here. When we loaded this, we had 40 connections. You're very full. Let's go down to here, I suppose. Boop. And connection table still there. Tile data. Connection IDs is not empty, so we should be going through them. We go ba 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 ba. We do all the things. And then connection table goes down. Why? Ah, because I'm dumb. Because I put you in the wrong place. Ugh. Okay. So you should fail now. Okay, you do. But not quite in all the ways you should, I don't think. I want this to be a failure as well. And I missed my debug there. Because you, and we're done with that. We're done with that. Just want you now, please. Thank y'all. Target tile has 3 IDs. And our updated data in test controller map at 0, 0. Oh, it does only have 2. So it's correct. Oh, because we overwrit. That's right. Duh. A little crispy brain today, I guess. Okay, so the thing we need to do here is not just blindly blap that. Get that out of the way a little bit. Okay, so we need to figure out the differences here. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Is there a convenience function? Should just get the difference of a list? There's one from the set class. The rest is just, yeah. All right, so there's nothing that is built in, which is fine. I was kind of not expecting one. Well, there is, but it would get the full difference, not the so both types of difference, new things and deleted things would wind up in the same list anyway. Let's just do this way. We need to check for both of those things. And we should ideally be able to check the whole thing anyway to do all of the appropriate actions. So let's just do and X and Y you're a room data, so I need to cast you so I can get the UUID. You can't be null. Nullable, okay. I've already got, yeah. I've already null checked you too. This isn't even the right, we didn't cast you yet, so we need to do that. Connection IDs. There we go. Yeah, I'm tired. Okay, so if this is not in the new one, was it remove connection tile, connection ID is ID this is my location, which is should be the offset. That should be correct. Um, then we can say this. Current object. Oops. Update connection tile. ID. Current object. Location. Like so. If this is not empty, errors, updating connection tile, ID, ID. Like so. But let's spell errors correctly. How about? Okay. So that should handle those. Except for we also want to do. Hey, Aman, how's it going? Can we get away with? No, not really. Oh, you know what? We need to do this even before. This is an error. Completely. This needs to be created first. We need to make sure. So this is a new ID. And then we say if connection table add ID. If you're null, then it's an argument error. Connection ID. ID not been added to the map yet, or just not been added to the map. Otherwise, I should have otherwise we can go ahead and add this. And then we don't need to worry about it. Okay. And in the last case of replacing, We also need to check let's see here. This all needs to be actually inside of, if the current object doesn't contain, then it's a new one, then we do that. But if it's just been replaced, well, no, that's gonna, those should both cover the replaced connection. Oh no, the case I was thinking about is otherwise here. So if it doesn't contain it, we do that. If it does contain this, and I don't know. Well, we don't have connection information here. Not sure I'm happy with this. Because if we don't have the connection information in here, we only have IDs. We took them out of there. They don't really belong in there anyway. Out of the model. So we just got to be really careful, which is a red flag, right? To anytime we're modifying a connection, we need to call modify connection first. And we don't even have that yet, but we will. I'll have to think about that a little bit. But now that that's been done, I think this should pass. Unless I've messed up. Okay. Null current tile. I have broken my null check in here. Because y'all were supposed to go in there. And then this becomes an unnecessary cast. There we go. Because we only do this if the current tile wasn't null. There we go. Okay. I feel like this might be a little fragile, which I don't like. I don't have any better ideas off the top of my head, right? Meow. Okay, so add test or add into add remove connection IDs part of room updates test for removing connection. Okay. We need to now Connection added. My test map has all the connections. How do I want to test this? We could do... We could call, remove connection. Is that not what I called you? Tile. This won't remove you from... I'm gonna need to do this. Connection data, target connection. We'll get the first connection ID. This actually needs to be get connection, this. That'll pull him out. You need to be imported. That's fine. You can be. I need to say that test controller app, the origin as room data connection IDs, remove my UUID, please. All right, you can't be null, you can't be null, you can't be null, right? No? Oh, that one. That one's my trubs. Okay. Well, now you're saying... Oh, because because I null checked it there. Makes sense. Actually, I need to do this after... I remove the tile itself. I think. Otherwise, it won't be in here and it'll be a problem. And you need to be the UUID can't be null, and the location. Is it you? It's both of you. Okay. What a pain in the butt. And then we need to do it again. Now I reverse remove that. I guess you're fine because of reasons? Okay. All right. And then that's fine. Should have fixed this. I should have fixed this. There we go. I need to remember to fix that this time. That. Okay. Except, yeah, that should be a new one. So I have to add the connection data back. Meow. We've removed you. We make you from string UUID B4. What are the other things for connection data? Oh no. It's very difficult to do manually. That's why I'm building an editor. We need to have let's do well, I can do that. And then I can say that. Why did you split it up so friggin' weird there? That. Wait, I just had you. Ah, because okay, yeah. And now you become that. You go there. Okay, I guess you're just gonna split up all funky. Okay. Now, our new connection, origin, is the target origin. Location. Destination, target destination, location. What the hell else do I have in here? Transit enter. New. Oh my gosh. New enter message. Transit exit. New exit message. Exit description. New description. Okay. Test controller, connection table. This will be nicer to read. Like so. All right. Now that it's all been added, got that. Got that. It's not a string. It's a list. Oop. Of UID values. Okay. Like so. Now, we expect you are not going to be this. You're going to be this. Because we took the 0, right? Connection, target connection, yes. So you're going to be 1. Ugh. This is going to suck. Because it's going to be fragile. Let's instead do... take, again, the length -1. Take them, expand that, and then add to it new connection ID. And then up here, instead of doing 0, because everything else should be modular, like it's all driven off of variables. So, if we take length -1, that'll give the last index. We take everything but the last for the connection IDs and then add our new ID. Okay. Theoretically, this should work. Unless I've overlooked something, which I probably have. There's a lot of crap in there. Okay. Vertical, okay. So, you. Target destination. Target connection. Destination. Oh no, because it's an offset. Um, this should be the correct offset still. And UID location description. This should be. This should be updated. Don't know why I bothered with that. Position shouldn't have changed, so that's fine. Okay. Either I've messed it up completely and it passes because it's very wrong, or I've done it right. Let's see here. Let's also make sure wait, no, we already did that. That's our room data. What are you mad about? Oh, that's a room data, right. I want to say connection IDs contains new connection ID is true. And I want to do this for both destination and origin. Just to add a little bit more certainty. Okay, did I not? Do Y2. Vertical connection tile model is not a subtype of room data. Target origin. Connections origin. Connections origin. Your room data is before, though. Oh, no, I do need to calculate the offset again. Damn it. Okay. Because this wasn't modified up there. Okay. Okay. So they didn't get added to those rooms. Crap. Oh, well, yeah, it wouldn't because that's something we need to do in that, because the room data doesn't control having a connection. I'm concerned that this is fragile. Very concerned. But I'll have to think about it. So I don't have any better ideas just yet. Add test for adding a new connection. Let's fix this up really quick to have the rest of the things that it should have. Wait, no. Don't need you because... What am I thinking? The connection IDs we might change, or might need. Except for no. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure these don't get changed. As part of that test. Okay. I'm going to make sure I didn't break anything along the way here, which I shouldn't have. Don't think I will have. Okay, perfect. All right. I'll have to try to think about what I want to do about this test that's become, or not test, but this edit that's become kind of so tenuous here. Do I just like discard connection data entirely here? No, because you have to be able to change it. I'll have to think about it. But that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. So thanks for everybody who came and hung out. It was good to see you guys. I hope you had a good holiday and you were enjoying some time doing whatever you want to do, relaxing, chilling out. If you like this kind of thing, I do it for a couple hours a night, 4 days a week, starting tonight and ending on Monday. So if you want to see more of this nonsense, I'd love to see you again. Show up here around 8 p.m. Central, and I should be doing it again tomorrow. And if not, we'll catch you some other time. You guys have a great weekend anyway.